Instagram Live with Tiana today. Instagram Live with Tiana today. Look at me. I'm pinning things at the top so you know exactly what to do when you come on in. Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? It is hot outside. It is Los Angeles. I'm doing the best to stay inside my house. I'm super excited to have a chat with you about leadership mindset. So if you're a performer or a creative and you kind of have this like pull inside of you to like take your career to the next level, this is a conversation for you because I have been doing this for many, many years. And from the evolution of dancer to assistant to producer to creative director to executive producer, I have a little bit of a formula that I want to share with you today. And hopefully these will help you take your next steps too. Because I do believe that sharing, I know it's cheesy to say, sharing is caring, but how I live my life is very different how you live your life. But I think it's really helpful for advice from people who are actually doing it and still making moves. And you know that is who I am. So I'm really happy that you guys joined me today. I've really had a few conversations lately about mindset, more so than ever, advocate of sharing factuals, but the conversation of mindset really does come to the forefront because when we're on the gig and we have, friction or we have things that we have to problem solve or we have, just the curves, the ebbs and flows of a job, what is common these days is just like talking that through, because when you're on a gig, you feel like you're on an island, but at the end of the day, everyone is faking that they know what they're talking about, or at least doing the best to their ability. So if I can help in any way, shape, or form, that is like what I get super, super excited about. I put in the comments here that I do have a little gift for you guys for those tuning in. It is a cheat sheet. I'll tell you more about it at the end, so make sure to stay tuned. But let's get into the nitty-gritties of mindset. Let's talk about the power of delegation. Just because you can do it all doesn't mean you have to do it all. Okay? When I mean that, I think it's a beautiful thing that you can. I truly think that it's helpful as a person growing in this entertainment industry or whatever field you're in, is to dabble in every single department so that when you are in that leadership position, you know how to articulate to that person. You've been in their head because you've been there. You know what it takes for labor. You know what it takes for their execution process. Dabble in, be the assistant, be the PA, be the script supervisor, be the creative director. If an opportunity is presented to you, do it. But when you put yourself in that leadership, that top leadership position, where you are going to shine is within delegation, not micromanaging. What that does is when you have people supporting you, they are going to show up more confidently. You're going to build trust with your team. And when you build that trust with your team, they will not become bitter Bettys. They will want to come to work, because when you're delegating, you're believing that they are good at their job. When you're delegating, you're believing that even if they have a stumble, they're going to figure it out. When you're delegating, that means you trust that they are creative to whatever degree you have hired them to be in. They can choreograph, they can direct, they can lead, they can call the show, whatever it is. When you're at the top, delegating is when you see somebody delegating, you're like, oh, that's a real leader, because they're not precious to do it all. Because when you're precious to do it all, that means you are not confident in your team. And then that creates fear, that creates a really unstable work environment, that creates toxicity, because that is then not making people feel like showing up matters. And I think over the years that I have experienced, of all the times that I have either worked with somebody or if I'm working with people and I have a team, the difference that I have experienced is that when somebody micromanages me, I don't feel like, I'm like, what's the point? Why am I here if you just want to do it all? If you don't trust me, then you should probably hire somebody who you feel confident in. So when I'm a leader, and I feel like I'm a really good leader, for anybody here who wants to say, yes, she's a great leader, It's because I have learned to delegate, and I've learned to trust the people that I bring in. I would not bring you into my ecosystem if I didn't trust you. And that, at the end of the day, is what every boss is looking for. They're looking for team players that they can trust. So if you're trying to hire people, or if you're trying to like get the attention of some executive, some choreographer, some artist, some anything, their key thing is that they want to trust you. So when they trust you, that means you know how to show up for work. That means you know how to deliver. That means you show up with a good attitude. That means you come properly dressed, you know. I'm going on a tangent, but I just think that the word trust is a very key term to keep in mind when you are a leader. You want to hire people that you can trust, and your team wants to trust you right back. So in doing that, delegating builds that trust. Delegating is the way to keep everything flowing, and then you're not overwhelmed by thinking of every little detail, because you shouldn't be thinking about every little detail. There are places in any kind of production, right? Any type of structure that you have. There's an assistant, there is a PA, there is a lighting director, there is a screens producer, there is a choreographer, there's a director. Everybody that's there shines where they have met you. I love these comments. Yes, Danielle is feeling me. Just stepped into a show. Love and support. Thank you so much, because I really am passionate about this, because I keep evolving. And when I'm evolving, I want to keep sharing. I think where we miss the step in this industry is because it's so competitive, but it doesn't have to be competitive. And competition comes with hoarding this type of information and not sharing what you learned. So that's what I learned. And so I think, hey, if I can pass it on, go right ahead. Just because you can do it all doesn't mean you have to do it all. Okay. All right. I'm having a little sip before we get into the next topic. I'm so happy you guys showed up. Knowledge is currency. Number 2, knowledge is currency. What does that mean? Knowledge is currency, but only if you keep the receipts. Okay? Every gig pays me twice. Once in money and once in knowledge. So when I go to every job, anything that I've been positioned to do, I almost consider myself a paid intern every single time, no matter how high I get on the ranks. I'm a paid intern, okay? I might just have a little bit more confidence because I've been in it for so long. But what I have done, because people have asked me, Tiana, how did you transition from being a dancer to being a assistant to being a producer? And every time I stepped into a new role, I would constantly be taking notes on new terminology, on new positions of people in production, and I would bank that on a notes pad. Sure enough, like this thing was growing and growing and growing and growing. So after every job, what I would like to encourage you to do is to create a post-mortem meeting with yourself. So the post-mortem meeting with yourself basically lets you sit with yourself, look in the mirror and say, okay, hey, this is what I did good, and this is what I could have done better at, and this is what I could do away with. And with that being said, you start taking inventory on where you shine. And then you start learning where you want to delegate. Okay, do you see how this is flowing here? Do you see how things are coming back into play? So have that postmortem with you, because I can guarantee you every job, there's going to be a success in your steps, and there's also going to be some bumps in the road. Nothing is perfect. I don't even know why the term perfect exists in our language, because that's just not possible. Every job teaches you something. Every job you learn to either listen more, you could learn to connect more, you can learn to take notes better, you can learn to delegate stronger. Whatever it is, you take that moment and you say, okay, this is what I could really reflect on and be better for next time, because there will be a next time. The point of progression in our life is that every step that we take forward, universe is going to come and meet you in the middle so that you can keep making these steps towards the direction and toward the desire of your heart. But if you're not rising to every occasion, those steps might get a little bit far and few between. So in order to make it count after every job by having that postmortem conversation with yourself, I guarantee you, and make real adjustments. Don't just have the conversation with yourself and then say, okay, I'm fearless, I can do this, and I don't need to fix anything. We all need fixing. But to make yourself accountable for it is to really take these notes down and look at it as though you are doing your best to be better for your next team, for your next job, for your next anybody that comes around you on a job. Because people talk. Let's be honest, people. People talk. You know, it doesn't end in high school. It doesn't end in college. It is a known fact that your reputation is going to get you to the next job or cut you out of your next job. So how you can continue to be better and ready to rise up as a leader is by taking these notes for yourself, because that's what true growth is. And as a dancer, right, you go to a dance class and you are putting your whole effort into it. You're like, oh my gosh, you're just killing it, killing. You never get feedback from the choreographer. You never get feedback from your fellow dancers. And if they are, you don't even know if they're telling you the truth, because everyone's just probably on a high from being in a dance class. Now, if you were to put your phone in front of you at the dance class, what I'm pretty sure I've seen quite often is you put that phone in front of you and you record yourself doing the choreography. That is you taking inventory of yourself and your talent. And then you're looking at that video and you're saying to yourself, oh, this is what I could have done better, because you're taking yourself out of the situation for just a second and you're looking at yourself from a different perspective. And that's how we are going to step up as leaders, by thinking, okay, how can I be better for others? Not just for myself, but others. And if you're trying to, going back to the dance, looking at yourself on the video, you have to think, how does somebody want to hire me? Right? So now looking at it, and I'm ready to step up and be a leader. I want to be a choreographer. I want to be a creative director. I want to be a director. Well, now you have to start thinking of others just as much as you think about your skill set. And so that's taking inventory of how strong you are on the gig. And if you have missteps, those are healthy. If you make a mistake, those are really good. It's character building. I make mistakes all the time. Sometimes I walk away and I think, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that just happened. But I'm glad that those moments happen, because I'm like, that'll never happen again. I will never let that ball drop again. Whatever it may be for yourself, we're all human. We are flawed. So take those notes for yourself and say, you know what, I'm ready for this next leadership position because I've been working on myself so I can be great for others. I can be great for a team. And when you're in that leadership position, you have to think, I'm great for my team here and I'm great for my team here. Because you have bosses. You're always going to have bosses unless you're the CEO of something. And we'll get there. We're there, right? But that's the goal. But just know you have to be great for everyone in the whole kit and caboodle. Who knows what a kit and caboodle is? Can I get an amen? Okay. So so lesson number 1, in case you didn't see it, is the power of delegation. I think that's super powerful. The number 2, leadership mindset, is knowledge is currency. Take that personal inventory of yourself. It is healthy. It is good. And then the number 3 is preparation over perfection. Again, I cannot stand that term, so we're just going to talk about preparation. The rooms you walk into will reflect the rooms you are prepared for. Can I get 2 snaps? Boop, 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 boop. So it kind of folds into that last topic that I was saying, but when you're building this, when you're having these conversations with yourself, reflecting on how good you did or how bad you did or whatever you want to learn, this is also another time to start building your creative toolkit. What is a creative toolkit? If you're here, you might be interested in being a creative director or working as a creative producer or being on a team that puts concerts together, that puts tours together, award show performances, whatever it may be. You're like, oh, I really want to get in on that team because I have a vision and I want to really play that game. What I've done over the years is that I've built this creative toolkit, and that creative toolkit is either a bank of assets, like of images that I find on Pinterest or, on Google or whatever, or Creative Market. And I really start putting ideas together that spark my creativity and what do I actually want to create for? So you have to start building that bank of assets, because what's going to happen is someone's going to call you and say, okay, put a pitch deck together, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, I have to start from the beginning. But if you don't have to get ready, you don't have to, what do I say? Don't laugh at me. I don't get ready, honey. I stay ready. That's it. I guess I have to say it with attitude to really remember my own personal mottos. But yes, so build that bank of assets, right? So you're building these images, you're building it all, you have this folder of ideas, it's great. But when you're on the job, when you're actually on the job and you're on the set and you start hearing terminology that you're like, what is that? What is that lighting? What's that light? And what does it do? I want to know about that lighting. And then somebody says, oh, this is a strobe light, and this is a Sharpie light, and this is a Kino light. And you're like, oh, so every time somebody started telling me these terms, I started taking notes. I said, oh, that light is boom, 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 boom. And if you can find somebody on set who does that to you and for you, that is incredible. That is so great. Another department that I would start building my creative toolkit was special effects. I love special effects. If you know me, that's my jam. And there's a ton of special effect terms to use when you're creating. So you could have a gerb, you can have a Saxon, you can have a pyro, flame bar, you can have confetti, all these terms. It's like endless. So what I would do is every gig I was on, I would start building that list, because what would happen is that on my next gig, they would say, okay, we want something like this. And instead of starting from scratch, I would be able to go back to my list of terms that I learned on all the jobs that I was leading up to. And I was like, bam, I got it. I don't have to even hesitate because I've built my creative toolkit terminology. Well, today I want to do something really special for you. If that is something that you want to, a cheat sheet. Do you want a cheat sheet of special effects? If you just put cheat sheet in the comments here, it'll be sent directly to your DMs, and you too can have this laundry list of special effects terms that are used everywhere. It's universal. If you live in Japan, if you're in Australia, if you're in the UK, they all use the same terms. I'm in LA. I have done a wide range of TV shows, tours, award shows, and it's the same kit. So if you comment cheat sheet here, you can have this endless list of the terms that I've gathered all over the years, and actually confirmed, because we did have a special effects field trip not that long ago in the CDPA community, and I was dead on, okay? When you get that link, you also can apply for Creative Director Pro Academy. We are coming up to the fall session in October, and out of the 15 slots, because this is a very tight-knit group, 2 have already been taken. So if you really want to be interested in jumping in on this type of knowledge, with this powerful knowledge that I've gathered over 20 years, then let me know and put the comment cheat sheet, and you will get your special effects cheat sheet. So with that being said, I feel really excited to also let you know what's coming up. So our field trips. What is a field trip? It's just like when you guys went to high school and it was field day, and you'd have to get your permission slip from your mom, and you're like, Mom, I'm going to get on a bus. We're going to go to the farm, or I'm from Iowa, so I guess that's really telling. Wherever it may be. Some people went to Six Flags. You're lucky. I don't know. Within Creative Director Pro Academy and the CDPA community, we have field trips. So the last field trip that we went to was special effects. We went to Santa Clarita, and Mikey at Gem Effects, he literally lit everything off. In that moment, I was like, oh, this is so valuable. Why? Because whenever we are as creative directors in this team, you have to work with all types of departments. You have to work with the lighting director. You have to work with the screens. You have to work with special effects. You have to work with costumes and styling. Everyone knows you have to get dressed. You have the main talent has to have wardrobe. The dancers have to have wardrobe. The supporting members have to have wardrobe. But how are you going to get the best look and have a great relationship with that costume designer if you don't understand their actual process, and you don't understand their team, and you don't understand their budgets? So what is so special about the next field trip is that we're going to Marina Toybina, an Emmy Award-winning costume designer studio, and we are going to take back that curtain, and she is going to share her world with those that are interested in this field trip. Because what I've learned, and again, going back to being a great leader, because I'm going to tell you, I'm a great leader. Why? Because I pay attention to every head of departments process to the best of my abilities. And if I don't understand it, I will ask so that if I have an idea and they're like, well, I'm like, I want a 6-foot tall platform that has rotating windows and can ride a scissor lift. Now, you know, I am not physically doing that, right? It's just coming up here because I have a vision. Now, I then talk to the art department and I say, can this happen? And they were like, yeah, it's going to cost you this. It's going to take this long to make, and it's going to take this much of a team to bring it in from the shop. Now, if I don't ask these questions, then I'm just being bossy pants. And then that makes you look like a bad, annoying boss. So what makes you a great leader is communicating, articulating, understanding other departments. And with that being said, I think another great place to start with all of this is with costumes, because we all have to work with somebody building the look of the people on the stage. So Marina Toybina, again, this is September 3rd. It is a field trip. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I know you're like, why is it on a Wednesday? Because it's a field trip. Like, act like you're at school. Maybe you want to play hooky from work. I'm not quite sure. Hi, Alex. I'm so happy you're here. And Haley, oh my gosh, yes. So this field trip is special because, yes, she's my bestie. So I'm a very lucky lady. So I do understand it. But because I understand it, I want to share with people the information that I have gained from her, because she's so successful and her team is really, really good at what they do. And they all have a very special skill set. You know, she has like many gigs, and we will go and see that she has many gigs working at one time. And every person on her team is delegated because why? Delegation is key. So she delegates to everyone's strengths, and everyone who comes to that job and comes to her studio then says, you know what? I feel seen because I'm put on a job that I'm really good at. You know, if somebody is working on I'll just kind of case scenario for you. If she's working on a boy band and she's also working with a rock star, do you think that the stylist and the team player that works on the boy band is going to be the same type that's going to work really good for the rock star? No. And that's what makes her a great leader, is because she knows how to see people's strengths. So we're going to get in the room. We're going to ask the questions. We're going to even how do you structure your budget? Because sometimes I'll even go to her and I'll say, oh, I have this job. These are the bullet points. Can you give me an understanding of what this type of budget looks like? And it's not, exact, but it's the broad strokes enough for me to go to production and say, this is what we need to make this happen, or I will know right away if it's a fit or if it's not a fit. So today we talked about creative leadership. And I think all in all, you realize that it all comes together from power of delegation, knowledge is currency, and build that bank of assets. You too can step up when you're ready, when you really expand your mind, open up and just look a little bit beyond what you see every day, and be considerate of everybody that's working. When you're on a job, just know everyone's coming in away from their loved ones, away from their children, away from their safe space. And you just want to make it a great place that people want to turn up to. If you become that person who's bossy and micromanaging and not happy, and guess what? When you find yourself not to be happy, because that's natural too, I've been there, then you say, hey, maybe I need to make an adjustment with my life. Maybe I need to try something else that sparks my interest. Maybe I should move over here and try something that makes me less grumpy and a lot more happy. So I am so stoked. I've done a lot of talking. It's so crazy because I have talked for 25 minutes very casually, but then when I go to do a podcast, it doesn't feel the same. Can somebody help my mindset there? I don't get it. So anyway, if you want the cheat sheet for special effects, put it in the comments. Cheat sheet is yours. You too can have this long list of terminology for special effects. You deserve it. You're worth it. And if you want it, you can have it. That is the truth. That is what I believe. And if you're watching this, I believe that for you, because I have believed that for myself. And I know for a fact that once you just lock in and you say, you know what, I'm worthy of this, the doors will open, new opportunities will arise, and you will decide if it's a good fit or not. But if I can help you do it and not look at it like a daunting thing, then that's what I'm here for. Thank you. Thank you, Ju27. I love Instagram handles. Sometimes I don't know what your real name is. I think I've met a few people that I didn't even know what their real name was because I'm a handle girl. Tiana today. Instagram live with Tiana today. Instagram live with Tiana today. I made up a jingle, you guys. My own jingle. And I have my cups. Greenlight your own life. It's all about having a good time. I'm going to wrap this up. Unless anyone has any questions here, put them in the comments. I'm here for you guys. I'm really pumped about life. I'm pumped about your future. I'm pumped about sharing. There's many ways to get involved into this nucleus between the Academy is coming, you guys. Miguel needs to make that jingle come to life. You know what? Okay, Danielle, let me tell you. Yes, my hubby last night, I asked him to start doing my jingle for the podcast, and I'm liking where it's going. So we need a jingle for the podcast and Instagram live with Tiana today. I know I can't sing, so I don't know who's going to fill that spot. Anybody ready? Field trip, September 3rd. I know I'm going off. Field trip at Marina Toybina Studio, September 3rd. The link is in my bio. The link is also in Creative Director Pro Academy's bio. If you can't figure it out, you can always DM me. I can send it to you directly. I love a DM. And then, I love you, Danielle. And then you've got the cheat sheet. You want special effects. You want to know all those terminologies. Put the cheat sheet in the comments. You too can have all that information for you. I am happy. It's yours. It's yours. You deserve it. And last but not least, let's go through those top 3 creative leadership mindset. 1, the power of delegation. Honey, delegate with clarity. It'll set you free. It'll set your team free. I promise you this. Knowledge is currency. Every gig pays me twice, once in money and once in knowledge. Keep the receipts, folks. And 3, preparation over perfection. Okay, build that bank of assets. Make that list of all the things that you've learned and keep it with you and keep growing and keep saying yes. Greenlight your own life. And I am here for you. Ciao, ciao for now.